Dear Linda, the time is late. It's almost 10 o'clock p.m. You are with me today in a classroom at the Women's College where I teach. My friend Zoe Tuck and I are presenting our work to a colleague's queer and trans writing workshop. That this class exists at all is in itself a miracle. Historically, women's colleges have been a relatively safe place for those who were gender nonconforming, although those individuals were often unnamed and unrecognized. Today, in this classroom, I'm surrounded by young students who proudly name themselves as trans, queer, non-binary, gender nonconforming, and by other terms to describe their gender identities. It's been over 5 years since the publication of Troubling the Line, Trans and Genderqueer Poetry and Poetics. Classes like this one are more and more common on campuses around the country. Trans and gender nonconforming identified writers are ever more visible and publishing. Although that visibility is still marginalized, every time I encounter a younger writer who writes openly about the complexity of gender, I am utterly grateful. I have projected your picture on a screen. I have talked about our books, yours and mine. I have spoken about your childhood, your schooling, your young adulthood in New York. I've described how your sister could sing the C major scale correctly in contrast to the way your notes came out of your throat quietly and out of tune, heading down the scale instead of up. That's true. I've shared that you were nearly blind in one eye and wore thick glasses with prisms, that your mother tied your hair into a ponytail, that you wore black and white saddle shoes that were always scuffed and dirty. I recounted how you hated dresses and the concert gowns you had to wear when you played the piano in recitals and how embarrassed those dresses made you feel. As I spoke, I switched easily between the first person, calling you I and me, and the third, using your name and the pronouns she and her. I know I've created a kind of binary here. It's simply a contrivance, a schema that allows me to address you. I've decided to keep the armature, for now, imperfect as it is. Dear friend, who is me and no longer me, dear love, who I've never left behind, dear gorgeous Linda, in all that your name implies, let me say again that I love you.